Welcome to the Car Guys, and this week a lot of you have been asking me for my opinion on the brand new Gordon Murray Automotive T.33, especially as many of you know that I almost went for the T.50 in 2019. You want a prospective owner's view on this brand new exciting car, and more importantly, you want to know whether I would actually buy one. And wouldn't you know it, here I am at Gordon Murray Automotive's inner sanctum to view the car for the first time and give you my first thoughts and reaction to the pant-wettingly exciting T.33. A car that is almost certainly... Oh, bugger. Yes, all right, I admit it. I am not in a secret room at Gordon Murray Automotive. And of course the Car Guys didn't get an invite to see the new T.33, like some of those big-hitting YouTube channels. You seem to forget, viewers, that in YouTube terms we are amoebas, a tiny channel with two rapidly disintegrating hosts in a sea of corporate entities masquerading as zany teenagers and camcorder-wielding one-take toffs. But we can still give our opinion. And we don't have to take part in the scripted, state-approved charade that is the press embargo. The chance to see our favourite presenters confined in a white room and on their best behaviour, rigidly controlled by the fear of not getting to drive the car when it's finally made. Honestly, I feel for Gordon Murray himself. How bored must this guy have got having to say exactly the same things to 5 or 6 YouTube goons while standing in the Matrix? He's not known for suffering fools gladly, and so the prospect of repeating the stats and reasons for the design decisions over and over again must have been as palatable as his last colon examination. This week I'm going to give you my first impressions on the T.33, warts and all, and from the perspective of someone who has actually owned one of Gordon Murray's cars. Some of you have warned me that Gordon Murray fans are as bad as the similarity, but I don't think that's true, provided you are balanced and fair. Let's find out, shall we? Here we go then. What do I think of the T.33? How does it stack up with the T.50? And would I buy one? Well, the easy way to say it is, it's the T.50 without the fan. And like the T.50, they're only going to make 100 of them. It's also got 2 normal seats instead of the T.50's 3, and it has wing mirrors, just like a regular car. It has the same Cosworth V12 motor, except that the T.33 revs to 10,500 instead of 11,500. And that's a bit of a shock because many of you thought that the range-topping T.50 would get the V12, but that the baby brother T.33 would perhaps get a V10 or even a V8. But no, both cars get full-fat V12s, the newer car producing 615 PS compared to the T.50's 650. However, on a car as light as this, that difference is known in common parlance as all. And why does GMA say that it's a 3.9 litre car when it's 3,994cc? That's 4 litres, my friends. The new car's slightly heavier, 1090 kilograms versus a scarcely believable 980. And with less power, it means that the power to weight ratio is slightly worse. You also get the option of a paddle shift as well as that sweet manual, the T.50 being manual only, of course. In terms of size, it's a petite little thing, just like the T.50. In fact, it's almost identical, and it's only slightly larger than a Porsche Boxster or Cayman at 4.4 meters long and 1.85 meters wide. And it looks like something from a Jerry Anderson show. It's very UFO. See what I mean? In fact, it's got the striking good looks of something that Ed Straker would drive. What a dude. I think it's got elements of the Porsche 904 in there, the front end, those light clusters and the roofline. And look at that stretched B-pillar that reminds me of the one on the Porsche 991.2 Targa, as you can see here. And that rear end? Well, if you watch the official launch video, it doesn't take a genius to work out where the inspiration for that came from. The Ram air scoop on the top is obviously ridiculously cool. Anyone with a stock McLaren 675 LT has wet dreams about having one of those. But it's all those little details that make this beautiful car so beguiling. That unadorned 4-spoke steering wheel, the simple black pool ball at the top of the gear stick, Gordon's signature in the cabin, the fact that the rev needle looks like the one in the McLaren F1, the cool supportive seats, the slinky rear lights, the yellow engine, and those over-under front lights. It's all so exquisite. Without having seen the car in the flesh, I can say this: I think it looks smart, futuristic, the cabin is fabulous, the stance is perfect, and the only thing that I don't like are the rear haunches, which look to have swollen to accommodate those 2 luggage compartments. Some of you hate the front end, but I'm perfectly fine with it, and it would be even better if Gordon could have a digital number plate somehow displayed on the grille. My concerns with the car have nothing to do with the looks, the packaging, or the mechanicals, so forgive me, but here's where I get a little bit ranty. And I really can't believe that GMA hasn't considered this carefully. My biggest issue with the T.33 and announcing it right now is, what about the customers of the T.50? Has no one considered their feelings in all of this?
Are you serious?
They've bought into an exciting, innovative, groundbreaking supercar from one of the best names in the business, the first car from GMA, a lightweight, stunning, fan-assisted piece of automotive sculpture powered by a mighty, sweet-sounding, naturally aspirated V12 and costing over £2.7 million. And lest we forget, Car Guys viewers, none of them are finished yet. Not one of them has been delivered. Isn't it a bit disrespectful to announce and fawn over a car when the first customer T50 has yet to turn a wheel? Why would you announce another car this soon? And worse, one that is so close in terms of profile, performance and packaging that it makes the T50 look like a bit of a bad deal. This was the same when Ferrari launched the SF90 Spider, even though not a single SF90 had been delivered. It's just rude. The T.33 is just over £1 million cheaper, yet not substantially slower. The stats are similar, the torque is the same, the weight is only 10% more with a similar power level. Both have the same engine. Actually, that's not even true. The T.33 has an improved engine over the T.50. The press release for the T.33 talks extensively of brand new engine components like the camshafts, engine mapping, valve timing over the T.50. And it refers to the engine in the T.33 as the GMA .2 V12, i.e. better. How can they already be saying that the T.33 engine is improved on the T.50? Surely there's still time to make all the T.50 engines as good and with the same components as the T.33 one. I have to say, I was shocked when I heard that the T.33 was going to be £1.3 million, so call it 1.6 million all in, mainly because that's still a huge amount of money, enough to make it unobtainable to almost everyone, and this from the guy who made the £40,000 rocket. And why only 100 units, the same as the T50? For Gordon Murray's baby project, I expected an £850,000 car with maybe 500 to 800 units made, so a lot more attainable and a big differentiation from the T50 so as not to annoy those big whale customers, but also with the performance and engagement that would still shame Ferrari, Lamborghini and McLaren. So will I be buying one? Well, as it stands from watching the presentation, no, I won't be putting my money down on a T33. As much as I love the car, it's just too expensive. The world is now awash with £1 to £2 million cars, and whilst the demand may well be there, particularly in China and the US, it's becoming increasingly unpalatable socially. A cheaper detuned T50 without the fan and 3 seats and more numerous in quantity would have been a tantalising prospect for me and for the car guys. So I'm left at the end of the episode in a conflicted state. I don't have a T50 on order, so I'm not apoplectic with rage about the launch of the T33, but I do know that some T50 owners are livid at the moment. I absolutely love the car, I think it's beautiful, I really love all of those little touches, and I think it's a true work of art from a modern day genius. But it's also just enough out of reach price-wise and unnecessarily limited in quantity to make it unobtainium. This is a real shame because, to be honest, I was really looking forward to this one. I was hoping this was going to be the second Gordon Murray car that I was going to actually own. Thank you very much for watching this episode, and I hope you found it interesting and informative and thought-provoking. If you like what we're doing on The Car Guys, please subscribe, leave comments and likes. There'll be another episode next week.